Hello friends, Namaste. In this exclusive interview with Mr. Chandrasekhar Sharma ji, you will get the inside of this talented astrologer spiritual journey which began with the science of astrology. He is the author of Laghu Parashari and Vedic Astrology Demystified. Began studying Jyotish when he was about 8 years of age, and today he will reveal deep secrets of Vedic astrology on Raj Yogas and other such mysterious yogas which many are trying to decode. Rest of journey, Chandrasekhar ji will speak about himself. So let's start with your journey of occult sciences, where you learn various types of Jyotish, how you become interested in astrology, and how did you make it your career?
See, let me make it very clear. It is not my career even today.
Yeah.
See, I love astrology. I use it to help people. I was very young and my father was a doctor. He was also, he knew quite a bit of astrology. My grandma was also an astrologer she came from down south. And so, in a way, astrology runs in the blood, you may say. And when I was young, I loved to read. Even now, I read a lot. And I mean, it can be anything from history to, whatever. And my father used to be consulted by then renowned astrologers of Nagpur, because he was not, again, it was not his career. His career was a doctor. He was a doctor here. And they used to come and ask him about why Dr. Saab, I have predicted this, but it is not coming true. So what is wrong? And my father used to tell me to fetch X book or Y book and Y chapter from his cupboard, which I would fetch to him. In our days, we never talked to our father directly. Unless talked to, we would not initiate a sort of conversation. So I used to read while carrying the book to him, and when I used to go back in his room and put it there, then I used to read. And this is how it started with me. And I got exposed one day suddenly, because my father didn't know that I was reading his books. And when one of the renowned astrologers had come to him and they were talking about something, father, as usual, told me Brig Jatak Parijat and X chapter and Y verse. I still can't remember. He had a great memory. And then he was explaining something, and his name was Dani Shastri, if I remember right. I was very young then, I think 11, 12, something like that. And he said, Dr. Saab, will your son be interested in astrology? And he said, why don't you tell me? And in our time, there was no computers, no software, no nothing. And even no Dashamsha and no Saptamamsha and D188 or whatever. So it was a piece of paper, you draw the basic natal chart and give it to somebody. And then he looked at it and then he said, Dr. Saab, he would perhaps be interested in that science, but may not practice as an astrologer. And then he said that he will have 3 marriages. So being young, I should not have spoken, but yeah, I spoke out. I said, no, how is it possible? Because this is combination X and Y, and then Rahu Dosha Buddha Hanyatu Bhayastu Shaneshwara, etc., etc. And then he very gracefully said, oh, I missed that. I said, you are right. And then I understood that now I am going to get scolding from my father after this gentleman leaves, which did happen. My father was very soft-spoken, he called me. And then said, don't you know how to talk to people? I said, but what was wrong? He said, why did you tell him that, how can it happen? So then naturally the best defense is offense. So I said, but where am I wrong? He said, it is not a matter of being wrong or otherwise. He is a learned person. You should have asked me that, Shastriji, because Jupiter aspects explains and this combination is there, would not there be something different? And he would have immediately realized. And then he told me one aphorism which I have written in the introduction of my book or other foreword, that I always tell my students, Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, Satyam apriyam na bruyat, Nanutancha priyam bruyat, Esha dharma sanatana. That always tell the truth in a way that is palatable. Don't tell something which is going to hurt somebody. At the same time, don't lie because somebody likes it. Yes. This is our ancient dharma. Dharma means duty. This is how we work. And so, because people normally confuse dharma with religion.
Yes.
There is nothing like religion in the Hindu system. It is all duties.
Duties.
Duty as a father, duty as a son, duty as a friend, and so on and so forth. And that I always I kept it in my mind. It is still my method. So people sometimes say that you talk very nicely. I said, no, I always remember my father. See, my chart, does say that I can sometimes talk rough, but I always remember that, and I try to control myself. Right then, he said that okay, you can read the books on a Sunday, and for your earning, you do something else. You can write books, you can deliver lectures, no problem. Do your studies, because in our family we don't charge the distressed, because nobody who is happy comes to an astrologer.
Yes.
Somebody would be in distress, and it's not fair. But that was his way of thinking, and I have upheld it. So at this age of about 73, I don't want to change. So I don't mind people taking fees for it. I mean, that's not my idea at all. People think like that. But generally, people then try to exploit others, and which I don't like. But this is, I am from a Jurassic age, so you can understand.
Yes.
So this is how it started, and it went on for so many years. I many a times never, even predicted for a long time, because I always thought that I am still not mature, and some incidents took place where I could help one of my friends, and then an elderly friend told me, "You can help people now. At this age, you know that you are mature enough." He knew what happened. Some prediction of a friend's marriage failing on the when he was going to be married was made by me, like a fool, and told to others, and it happened. Actually, it did happen, and my friends were very happy with it because my prediction was right, and I was very unhappy because my dear friends' marriage broke. And so I decided not to predict. Then this started, then I started posting here and there on the net. Net had come to just test myself. Because I don't know who is Rocky. Rocky can be a European. In these days of, your generation, the names could belong to a girl or a boy. And so I wanted to test myself. Yes. And therefrom it started. Then Sanjay Rath also called me for some lectures, and then I was made a guru and all that. It's a long tale. But that is how I got into astrology. And even now, I got a small shop which gives me my bread and butter. But I never refuse anybody who is distressed. I try to tell him how to get out of it.
So, did you learn from any institution or some?
No, not at all. No. I am absolutely illiterate in that fashion. I learned from my father, who used to sometimes then ask me to predict something, and then he would say, if he thinks that I am wrong, then he would say, why? So that why started making me think deeper into the science, And being an engineer, my way of thinking is
looking at this is always logical.
Yeah. I mean, it is yes and no go, and no go sort of thing is always in my mind. Like you are 1 and 0, you are an IT person. So that is how I always look. And I always used to think that if this is going to happen, if this is certainly going to happen, then why ask an astrologer what is going to happen?
Yes.
There has to be something, some action, which will make us reduce the negatives and increase the positives.
Positive.
So that is how I look at it. So I'm a bit, so I'm not much into pujas and but that is how I am.
You learned so much of different streams of Jyotish. Let's say you have started in Parashari system, and you then went into Gemini system. Then you learned other system. So how was your overall experience from all the branches of Jyotish? What would you say to the viewers?
See, I would tell people that Jyotish, though we have divided it into different systems, they all converge.
Yes.
The basic principles never change.
Yes.
It is like that tale. When we were young, we were given a tale of 7 blind people looking at an elephant. So these are different viewpoints, but they all converge on that elephant, which is the great knowledge of astrology.
Exactly.
So Jaimini is not different from Parashar.
Yes.
That is what people think or try to promote. But look at it. It is Katapayadi. Katapayadi system came when Varurichi started Katapayadi.
Yes.
So this Jaimini might not be the Jaimini of the Purva Mimamsa.
Yes.
Isn't it? Or Parashari. When Parashari is written in the BPHS itself, but people rarely read it. See, so, so my point of view was Parashari. There was Marichi, there were Garga, and all these are Pravartakas. Narad, the great Narad himself, and they give different viewpoints. And if we try to understand those viewpoints, if we understand that what I call as iconography, then you get into the real part of astrology. And what to me it shows is how the person's mind works at what place, and extrapolation of all those things based on the dashas and the transits. That is how I look at astrology. It's a bit weird system, but yeah, it is how it is.
Yes.
And Parashari also mentions all the shlokas of Jaimini.
Yes.
But for the Vruddha Karikas, but for Parashari, perhaps it would have been difficult for even the great Nilkantha to decode the sutra.
Yes.
Balakrishna Saraswati gives some different version of it.
Yes.
Because sutras are difficult to interpret, so we have to, and as we respect everything, even the Tajik system or what, see, they are not very different. The way of, it's like, you drive a car with automatic transmission and one with manual transmission, or you apply the starter through key, or the earlier one which we used to have was in the foot, and that is where we used to press a button and the vehicle used to start. Now that is coming back again.
Yes.
So nothing ancient is obsolete. We only can change the form. This is how I look at it. But as I told you, I am from a different age.
Yeah. So you see as a picture, as a holistic way, you see Jyotish is like a tree of many sciences, and
absolutely
many branches are there, and everyone is linked with each other.
And because it is how I look at it.
Yes.
I mean, even with Jaimini, if you see, you know astrology well. See, what is Pada? Pada is reflection.
Reflection.
Graha sits at the center. Yes. She influences his bhava bhavesh relation, we say. At the same distance, he also influences some other bhava.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So whether you call it Aruda Pada or you call it, the
Upada, Darapada,
whatever you call it, it will again land at the same place. Isn't it? So this is how I look at it. Yes. But so I mean, even Prashna, you can read a chart, you can cast the chart and read it as a chart directly. Yes. Or you can go the Tajik way. Isn't it?
Yeah.
But against the same thing, you have to decide what bhava you are going to interpret.
Exactly.
Isn't it? Tajik is say Karyesh. Lagnesh is okay. So even in normal thing, we look at the Lagna as the Jataka. Yes. So it is not different. It is a different way of looking at it. Like your Windows system and Linux system and the Android. I mean, but they all come from our old system of, that punch card sort of feeding information to. Yes. So everybody says my system is good. For me, being an old person at my age, I think Parashari is fairly good. Some Jaimini principles are excellent. I use them directly on Lagna. I find they working wonderfully well. So even the Krishnamurti Paddhati is again the division of the same thing. It is based on Sattacharya system. I was very young when Krishnamurti started writing. He started with a regular interpretation and then shifted on to Hurari. That has always to be understood. So this is. But I respect all systems. I mean, for me, Prashna, Ashtamangal Prashna is as good as I am not an expert in it. I always tell people, you practice that which you are comfortable with.
Yes.
Not because I give you a new system. There is no new system in this world. You look at all those systems, you will find they all have the same root. The branches can go here and there. Some may be stronger, used regularly. Some may not be. They are all great.
So moving towards a more technical question systems, and so I have a doubt with respect to the Vedic astrology. Why Vedic astrology can we reveal the combination for remarkable success?
It can, but see, always understand that chart is indicating the potential.
True.
Potential. unless you apply your kinetic energy of your actions, that is not going to come to you.
Okay.
This is a fallacy that it happens, nothing happens automatically.
Okay.
Had it been so, then there was no reason of approaching an astrologer. There was no reason for us to even study that. Because if I am not going to change anything in your life, why should I study it and tell you that anyway you are going to fail or you are going to succeed? Isn't it? So, I mean, being an engineer, you can understand my way of thinking.
Yes, yes.
So, and such a complex science. If you take the permutation combination, you only take the natal chart, the Navamsha, transits, and dasha till Deha Dasha level, and you will find it will be a 1 billion permutation combination. One of my friends, Saji, I think he's in Norway perhaps. Yeah, and he tried to do that because he asked me, and I said, why don't you calculate it? He said, it is exceeding 1 billion. I said, that's fine. And so even if an astrologer fails, he should accept that I have failed. There is no harm in accepting failure. I have not seen an astrologer who has not failed if he is honest. Sometimes, of course, the people are very polite. They don't tell you that you have failed. That is possible. Or you might have seen less number of stars. This failure is also inbuilt because ultimately we are also affected by the planets, isn't it? If I say Rocky is affected by planets,
yes,
are we insulated? I am an astrologer, so my planets are also, sometimes my Buddha may be good if I have got 12 place Buddha and Buddha Dasha is running and Buddha is also suppose aspecting that natal Buddha, then maybe instinctively I will tell something and it will come true, isn't it? So I hope I am not boring you.
No. So question arises, so how we can know the strength of any yoga present in the chart? Yeah. Because we have many combinations, we have many yogas, but not every time it gets succeed. There must be some strength factor. There must be some strength factor in the chart so that we can understand that this yoga will definitely work and this yoga will not work.
You are right. See, there are good yogas. At the same time, there are dur yogas also. The negative yoga are also present in every chart.
Yes.
So when we talk about yoga, we only talk about Raja Yoga. Again, Raja Yoga, you have to understand your financial status will be much better than what you expected it to be. Perhaps when you were studying. And period. Nobody is going to put a crown on your head because it is Raja Yoga.
Yes.
And that yoga happens only once.
Okay.
You get those fruits throughout your life. See, this has to be understood. I mean, I have got a lot of youngsters asking me what happened to my yoga. So I said, you just think about what were your classmates doing when you were in schools, and now what is their stage? And they say, oh, I am much higher than them. I said, so your Raja Yoga has already happened because you never thought that you will go to this level, isn't it? He said, yes. So this is Raja. Now my general condition is, if there is a combination of a trine lord and a square lord, then there is a possibility of something much better happening in the life of that Jataka. If this placement is in a trine or a square, the percentage increases. Okay. Then if it is the strongest of the trine and strongest of the Kendra, then the percentage goes even higher. That is why the Dharma Karmadhipati Yoga that we talk about, the strongest of the trine and strongest of the squares coming together, where either in the 10th or in the 9th is the best position. Next best position is Lagna or 7th house. Then I would say yes, also in 4th and the 5th house. If that is where that happens, it is much stronger. Okay. That is the basis of that famous Maharaja Yoga, where Lord of the 5th and Lord of the Lagna together in Lagna or the 5th makes one a Chakravarti Raja, which means King of Kings or Emperor, we can say. But same will also apply to the 9th Lord and the Lagna Lord, either in 9th or the Lagna. And that people forget because our rishis used to recite. Nobody used to read write books. Those we got I think after Varamir and others came into picture when the manuscript started.
Yes.
So they had to keep it very concise. So once I tell you Bhavad Bhav principle, once I tell you fifth house, you have to understand that fifth from fifth is ninth.
Ninth.
So it is like pada in a
Pada.
different fashion.
Different.
It is Bhavad Bhava. There we say Bhavad Graha and Grahat Bhava.
Yes.
That is pada, and this is just Bhavad Bhava. So if I am talking about fifth, obviously it also applies to ninth, isn't it? Maybe on a higher level of intensity is possible. So this is how we should look at it. Or certain yogas are there, like Pancha Mahapurusha Yoga. I am sure everybody loves it.
Yes.
That is one yoga everybody loves. But has anybody thought what happens when Pancha Mahapurusha Yoga in a chart, if there are, say, all malefics are there, then what happens to the life of that person? Yeah, he will succeed. He will become a king, but he will suffer. Because malefics, when strong, give more trouble. Isn't it? Krura Mahakrura, Shubha Mahashubha, Vipratam Shanai Sutra. Saturn, when strong, will give the least of the sorrow. It doesn't obviate him from giving sorrow. I mean, please understand that. I mean, I'm not telling you, I'm telling to the audience at large, the youngsters, and even the oldsters many a times. Look at Lord Rama's chart. I'll show you that chart.
Yeah.
And see what happened. And you know his life. Because giving a larger than life example makes it easier to understand things.
Yes.
That is called the Arundhati Darshan Nyaya. That is what I always love. I give larger than life example. So we can understand it. Okay.
Yes.
Then again, if that, suppose Saturn is there, okay? Hello. Say Saturn is there. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I am listening to you, sir.
Yeah. So suppose Saturn is there. Now Saturn in the 7th house will be stronger because he gets Digbala.
True.
Digbala, isn't it? Whereas in Lagna, will he be that strong? Yeah, he would still be strong. He is in his Rashi of exaltation, no doubt about it.
Yes.
He will be strong. But then what happens to the 7th house, which is his house of debility, isn't it? There could be something happening there.
Yes.
Similarly, if say Venus is there, Venus in the 4th house gains Digbal, directional strength. Will the same Pancha Mahapurusha Yoga in the 10th house be equally strong? We must think about this. Yes. This is where the strength of the yoga has to be understood in the proper perspective. Isn't it? Or sometimes what happens is with Venus, some other planet is there. Yeah, that yoga is there, but it will be on a lesser scale.
Okay. So
I'm interrupting you, but then I call yoga as empirical formulas.
Yes.
See, but unless you know the foundation of that formula.
Exactly.
See, you are likely to forget. There are millions of yogas. Nowadays, I hear new yogas which are not written by even the great astrologers. Something like Visha Yoga and Vata Yoga and LSD Yoga or whatever. So you can call it anything. See, there are 4 types of Sihasana Yogas. There are 3 types of Kahal Yogas. So that is, if I feel I give this name, that name is given. But what is the basis of that yoga? Okay. This is what my father used to ask me. That okay, this yoga is there. So what was his standard?
So, in the picture of the strength, so does the Shadbala or the Navash factor, or you can say Ashtavarga, applies in the yoga strength?
As I look at it, I would think that strength of the planets come from Navamsha. So if it is strong, yes. There is for example, it is 4 or if you are not bored, I can tell you. It says, Indu Sarvatra Bijabho. Moon is the seed of everything. Yes. Absolutely. Because our mind gives rise to our action. Isn't it? Our action comes through our mind. Indu Sarvatra Bijabho, Lagnancha Kusuma Prabha. He is, the great, I think it is in Tattva Pradeep, if I remember right. He is imagining a tree. Okay. So he says, seed is moon. Lagna is the flower, which you can see. See, seed is inside, you can't see that. Flower you can see. Falena Sadrushonshascha. whenever we say Amsha, it is either Dwadashamsha or Navamsha, generally Navamsha. Navamsha is like its fruit. Bhava, Swadu, Rasa, Spruta. The nectar is Bhav. And what happens is nobody thinks about Bhav. Sometimes my student also tell me, you are very much attached to Bhav, Bhavesha Sambandha. I said, that is the nectar. Otherwise, you will see top class charts going west.
Waste, exactly.
Suppose, for an example, I'll tell you. Suppose 4,000 has some malefic influence there, isn't it? That means that person will be unhappy at his own house, or he will fight with his mother, or he will give trouble to his mother, or his vehicle will suffer a breakdown.
Yes.
Isn't it? Or his own house will suffer, or all that thing, and his happiness. Isn't it? But what happens if that person is moved from his place to somewhere else? We should think about it. Okay. And then you will see that that person progresses. Now, I'll look at astrology from this point of view. My remedies will always come from this point of view. I say this is a bad period, you lie low. If this is good period, you try to work as hard as possible and get that fruit. And then everything will come through. So this is a very simplistic way of looking at astrology, I know. But that is how I look at it. Without Navamsha strength, there is no strength in the planets. Planets always derive their strength from Navamsha. And then that is to be seen in the natal chart. There you see which Bhav Lord is occupying which place. Because Bhav Lords give their own results, taking shelter of the Bhav that they occupy. So this is something which has to be understood. So I hope I'm not boring you, but then I'm used to talking on. I want people to understand the concepts. I don't want them to remember the 27 nakshatra or their charans and what happens in Gandanta. I said, that you will anyway understand if you understand the charts. Okay. Yes. So better understand the concept. What is a planet? Planet is an influence. What influence? It is a magnetic field. See, change of magnetic flux induces electricity.
Yes.
Isn't it? Exactly. Our brain runs on nanotesla, that is the parameter level of electricity. Isn't it? We are on the earth. So what happens is, it is like your chips, the processors. When you are born, a particular field is implanted on your mind. Okay. That is why you behave in a certain fashion. So I would say that when I look at a chart, I say this is telling me about how you think. And if you think like this, what must be happening in your life? And extrapolation of that is Jyotish. According to me, I may be wrong. And see, like what people many times think that transits do not matter. As a transit is the last mile. When there is sudden surge in electricity, our computers can fail. Isn't it?
Yes.
Same thing can happen with our brain. Certain transits change the field. The intensity of field is changed. Now your brain is programmed to handle X amount of electricity in this manner. This much insulation is there, and this is how I look at it. Being an engineer, perhaps that is my habit. Okay. But then, if you try to see it, especially in the stem cell treatment things, and when they get treated, you will find that in your brain different type of colors do appear, and those colors are given to the planets. I wish after me somebody goes deeper into it. Because I don't have that much life left. I mean, it took me so many years to understand even these basics. So,
okay. So we have just discussed the strengths of these yogas and the planets. So moving to, for the next questions. So, sir, what is the basic difference between Raj Yoga and Arishtas? Because you have seen many of the charts. You are studying this Jyotish from many of the years. You have seen there are some good yogas, but as well as there are some Arishta yogas are also there.
There will be there.
Because of this reason, some yogas get fructify, but some may not fructify. So how you differentiate between a Raj Yoga and Arishta yogas?
See, primarily when Arishta is talked about in astrology, it is about life. So you know that Bala Arishta and Yoga Arishta and Graha Arishta and all those things. So Arishta is life. But Arishta is any bad thing happening in your life. isn't it? Now I look at it from one point. I always feel that all those yogas do happen in your life at different point of time. So I may mm, get some recognition from the President of India, but then I will have to go to Delhi. I stay in Nagpur, isn't it? So I will have to take that sorrow of not having my family with me. So both the yogas are operating.
Yes.
The times are different, the results are different. Sometimes what happens, we tend to increase the negatives. Like I'll give you an example. Suppose Saturn is sitting in your 10th house. Okay. He will be aspecting the 12th house,
12th
the
house.
4th house, and the 7th house, and the 7th house. Saturn, by his very nature, is a bit lethargic. Where will he be lethargic? The place, because that chart represents whatever happening in that particular place, isn't it? Where he was born, and in the or the culture you can call it, because 4th is also called the Bandhaval, the clan. So what happens is, over time, if he remains in his own culture, 99.9% of the times, he is going to get frustrated that nothing is happening to me. I am not getting recognition. When a person is frustrated, especially when young, he will fight with his mother, the 4th house, and if he is married, with the spouse.
Yes.
With the spouse. He, she, whatever. And he will have sleepless nights. 12th is sleep also. 12th is bed pleasures, sleep, hospitals, prison, everything. Wherever you don't have any control. Okay?
Yes.
He can also take up to drinking, because look at what Saturn rules. He rules over speculations. Many times you will see those people who are good at stock market. When Saturn goes to 10, they might lose a lot. Okay. So what do we do? Now the 12th house is also distant land. So why doesn't he shift? Why doesn't he shift to distant lands? At least distinctly different culture.
Yes.
And then, I mean, you would also have seen, boys who used to perhaps see in India, will copy others. The intelligent boys, answers. People try to copy them down, because the duffers generally do that. Yeah. And you sometimes find that this guy has gone somewhere else to a different country, and now he is known as authority in the subject.
Yes. He's doing
which he was, just copying mine, and I am supposed to be an idiot, see, because look at his chart. It will tell you a story, isn't it? So that is the way I look at it. So Arishtas also happen, and good things also happen. They happen at different point of time. That is why dashas are, devised.
Important.
Dashas are important. They tell you the period of influence of a certain planet.
Okay.
Now, depending on if it is a malefic planet or benefic planets, which bhava it is aspecting and occupying, the results will come through. It is more like throwing the stone in a pond of water, and then there are those waves coming up, isn't it? They are concentric and go on extending. That is all that Mahadashas and Antardashas and Pratyantardasha and Dehadasha. And at that time, if transit is also suppose negative, then the negatives will come up more. Otherwise, if dasha is good and transit is bad, then middling, not very good, not very bad. And that is why all those three have to be used simultaneously.
Yes.
To come as near as possible to accuracy. I never claim 100% accuracy, but as near as possible. And from there only we can suggest them some way of coming out of it.
Yes.
Because our actions, we only get the results of our
actions.
Yes. It might interest you to know that Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak, one of the great freedom fighters of India.
Yes.
His son had 4 exalted planets in his chart. The only great thing about him was he was born to the great leader, Tilak. He committed suicide in front of a train.
Oh.
Period. So you can understand, because people talk about, so many exalted players. Okay, that's fine. How he uses them. How he uses it. See, that is where that Indu Sarvatra Bija, the mind.
So
Mind.
yes, I got your point. We will discuss later. Yeah. So coming to the Raj Yogas and Arista Yogas. So how to check the Yog Karaka planet actually, which can fructify the results?
Yeah. That is very interesting.
Basic,
at least
important question.
Vinshottari. Yeah. I am talking about Vinshottari. See, trine lords. If a planet is lord of both trine and a square, he becomes Yoga Karaka. That is certain. That is Yoga Karaka. One who is capable of giving yoga. And whenever we say yoga, it is generally in a good. Something auspicious happening to the Jataka. I still use the word Jataka instead of querent, which is normally used in English, but I like Jataka. Jataka is one born. So Jata means one who is born. So that is from where that Jati system has come. It has nothing to do with the Varna system. These are two different things. We confuse them. Yes. Okay, so to cut it short, any combination of trine and square long coming together would give rise to some yoga. Okay. Yes. Then trine lords are always Shubha. Trine lords are always Shubha, unless they also happen to own either the 6th, 8th or the 12th bhava, which will generally happen in case of Jupiter and Mercury. But even in case of Venus, there is a overrider. So what is called as the Kendradhipati dosha. If Lord of the square is also Lord of a trine, there is no Kendradhipati dosha for a benefic planet. Okay. But in case of Venus, what can happen is he can be Lord of the 10th and Lord of the 3rd, or 4th and 11th. In that case, he becomes, unless he is occupying his own house, he becomes a malefic. Okay. Functional malefic. Functional malefic. By his very nature, he is a Shubha planet. That is okay, but Dasha results will be different. Yes. Then also remember that if a planet comes in contact with, conjoins a Yoga Karaka or an aspect like trine lord with some other planet, then that other planet is also able to give results of this Yoga Karaka. Never forget that. That is where generally complications arise. Okay. Then next is, suppose 6th house is supposed to be a Dusthana, and its lord is supposed to be giving negative results. But even here we must understand that is a place of hard work and job. So when you see if somebody is going to get a job, you will find that 6th house dasha in some level of entire dasha. I don't like to only analyze on the basis of Mahadasha and Antardasha. So I will make it clear. I want to go down. For the simple reason that suppose in Venus, Saturn's Antardasha will be 3.5 years of period. Yes. Now anybody who has lived his life, and almost all of us are alive, so everybody has done. No 3 years are same. They cannot. Yes.
Exactly, absolutely.
There will be ups and downs. There will be ups and downs. Especially in 3 years, Saturn will change house, so he will create ups and downs for you.
Yes.
And so we have to understand. So if it is a matter of earning, so 11th Lord Dasha will also be there, perhaps at the lower level. The lowest level, the point when we are looking at what is happening, we see that if a Yoga Karaka Dasha, any auspicious planets Dasha, in the functional benefic, as the great Parashara has called them, there is a lot of literature on that. That will always operate. That means it will be a good result. Otherwise, in the same area, it can be a bad result. So that is where that interpretation of Dasha plays a part. And we must also see whether that Bhava is being aspected by a benefic. Because then everything will fall into place. Yes. Any Bhava, occupying a Bhava or aspecting a Bhava, he can give results in his own Dasha related to that Bhava. Also, whatever thing he is Karaka for, he can also give results for that. So Venus being Karaka for 7th Bhava, even if he is a negative planet, maybe in case of marriage, his Dasha would come at a lower level. So never forget that. That is where the Dasha interpretation goes. Or Laghu Parashari has really beautifully explained that.
Yes.
then there is another thing where I have a different opinion, that if a lord of say fifth and eighth are there, then Lagu Parashari generally says that it is a bad dasha.
Yes.
A trine lord of a half. But my opinion is, count from Lagna, whichever comes first, those results will come in the first half, and the second part of that dasha will give the result of the second bhava. So suppose Jupiter is lord of the fifth, that is Dhanu, Sagittarius, then naturally Pisces will be the eighth house, isn't it? So to my mind, Jupiter will give good results in his first half of the dasha, whereas negative results in the second half of the dasha. But if there is legacy of the father, that will come during that second half.
Okay.
I hope I am able to
yes.
convey what I mean properly.
Yes.
So and then another thing is, always dasha of one graha, his own antardasha within that mahadasha will give contrary results. If he is a functional benefic, the results will be negative. If he is functional malefic, result will be positive.
Oh. So these are the from the Lagu Parashari.
These are Lagu Parashari is nothing but Brihad Parashara. So people don't read, they think there are different books. No, nothing of that.
It's all
the first two.
Logic behind
it is specifically those shlokas which are relevant to interpretation of Vinshottari Dasha. They are compiled together and named Lagu Parashari. I think first three shlokas are about worship of God and explaining how I have, even that the writer has said that I have read Parashari and out of this I am telling you. So that is a misconception in people's mind. It's not. It is also that is what led the late Sitaram Jha to find out where is a big Parashari. Because he said, if there is Lagu Parashari, which is small, concise, then there is a Madhya Parashari, a medium, then there has to be a bigger Parashari, from which all this has come. And that is how that's, but unfortunately people think they are different. No, it is one and the same. But that is about, especially Urudaya Pradeep, they call it. So, Urudaya is Nakshatra Dasha. This is applied to Nakshatra. Rashi Dashas are to be interpreted in a bit different fashion. Yes. I think the sage has also commented upon it. But I prefer Uru Dasha. I have been weaned on that. So for me, it becomes easier. Because then I know which lord is it. This planet will give results of these bhavas, wherever he is placed, wherever he is aspected, and the karaka. In all those things, his dasha is required. So that becomes, it appears to be complex, it's not complex. Once you start doing it.
Yes.
And better also apply transit at the same time, so that you get a much better picture of what is likely to happen.